Democratic and Republican presidential tickets are now formally set, and a top third-party candidate is now out of the race. As ABC's Allison Kozik reports this morning, Kamala Harris and Tim Walz are now hoping to keep the energy from the Democratic National Convention going, and also Republican candidate Donald Trump is hoping to capitalize off of a new endorsement.
This morning, the Harris campaign touting a surge in fundraising. $82 million donated last week during the Democratic National Convention, and more than $500 million donated since President Biden stepped aside last month. Both campaigns are hitting the trail this week. Harris and running mate Tim Walz will take a bus tour across Georgia, while former President Trump heads to Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania. Harris leads in each of those key states, with the exception of Georgia, according to 538 polling averages. As for Trump running mate J.D. Vance, he heads to Michigan as he explains his support for Trump's proposed tariffs on some imported goods, denying the tariffs would be a tax on Americans.
If you're not willing to impose tariffs on companies that are manufacturing in China, using slave labor in China, you're not standing up to the Chinese.
Vance, in the same interview, was pressed on the subject of abortion and the potential for a national abortion ban.
If such a piece of legislation landed on Donald Trump's desk, would he veto it?
I think it'd be very clear he would not support it.
Senator Elizabeth Warren set to campaign for Harris this week, pushing back on those claims.
American women are not stupid, and we are not going to trust the futures of our daughters and granddaughters to two men who have openly bragged about blocking access to abortion for women all across this country.
It comes on the heels of Trump picking up the endorsement of Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Kennedy yesterday said there was no specific commitment from Trump about a position for him in a Trump administration.
We just made a general commitment that we were going to work together.
And now that Kennedy has suspended his campaign, sources say that he is no longer receiving Secret Service protection, which was added last month after the Trump assassination attempt. And both candidates are also prepping for the debate stage. This is going to be the first presidential debate after both conventions and is set for September 10th at 8 p.m. right here on Local 5. It will be moderated by ABC's David Muir and Lindsay Davis.